as I mentioned before, we have two different estimators. First one is the point estimation. Next one is the interval estimation. Okay, now we are going to see what are these interval estimations. So these interval estimations we call confidence interval. Confidence interval, which means in the name we can see that we are very confident about whatever value it exists within this interval. Here, sorry, it is not just a value, it is a range, like interval. Okay, you can pick any value in that particular interval. Okay, so always we try to find this interval like small width, right? You can see this width is much better than this width, right? Something like that. So always we try to shrink this width, this interval. Okay, that's the goal here. Okay, let's check this example. Oh, sorry. 100 soda cans, normal distributed, sigma given, sample mean given. Sorry, sample mean given. So what is likely range of values of population mean mu? Population mean mu. You know what is the point estimator for mu. Point estimator for mu is x bar, right? So you can, for an example, you can take values like 12.01 to 12.0, not 0, so 20. Okay, so you can see this value within this interval, right? Clear? So this is something, this is very similar what we are going to do. Okay, sometime you can pick, okay, no problem, you can pick 11.59, okay, comma maximum you can pick 13. Clear? So again, this value inside this interval, right? But you can see this length is smaller than this length. I mean, range, if you check the range here and here, you will see this one, this range here, or gap or range, and this range, this one greater than this one. Okay, clear? So in that case, we need to pick this one. Clear? Oh, something like that. Okay. Okay. Confidence interval. Where is this? Okay, this is your point estimator. Let's say this is your x bar point estimator. Then you can pick two values like lower confidence limit and upper confidence limit. As I mentioned in the last slide, 12, you can pick 12.01 and 12.20, something like that. Okay, called upper confidence limit. Okay. Okay. Provides range of all possible values of that particular parameter. Okay. For a given confidence level, this is important. For a given confidence level. Okay, confidence level. Confidence level means we are confident. We have a confidence to say that okay, it's like 90% confidence, 95% confidence. Okay, which means we can say okay, we have 95% confidence to say this. So that is the confidence level. Oh, sorry, that's the confidence level we are talking about here. Okay, you will see that what's going on here later. So confidence level, let's say capital C. Okay, that's a value, that's a percentage. Okay, 90%, 95%, 99%, something like that. Okay, measures the degree, that confidence level measures the degree of reliability. It's possible, right? It's 95% confidence means it's reliable, right? Something like that. Most of the time, with this confidence level, we can capture most of the values what we need. Okay, So usually we use 90% or higher for our confidence level. Okay, 90, normally 90%, 95%, 99%. Okay, never use 0%. Okay, 99, that goes the maximum. There are few assumptions. Okay, there are few assumptions like, okay, suppose mu is the parameter of interest, which means mu is our parameter to estimate. So data come from, definitely we assume that data come from simple random sample, which means they have no relation. X1, X2, they are different. Okay, no sampling error, no sampling error. Okay, we just forget about them. That's why we get these assumptions. And this is important. This variable, the variable of interest, which means mu, normally distributed. Okay, normally distributed. If it is not normally distributed, it's going to be a problem. We have to use different method. But here we are dealing with normal distributed parameters. Okay. Although we don't know the population mean, okay, but we know about the standard deviation, then we can do our calculations without any problem. Okay, but at least we should know this standard deviation. Okay, clear? Okay. Okay, I'll do this and I'll show you another thing. I think it's not in the notes. Okay, construction of 95. Confidence interval is 95%. Okay, so how we build this, how we build a formula for 95 confidence interval, which means we need to find the confidence interval. So you know this one, right? C, standard normal, C score. C is here, C score. Since we are using X bar, last time we used Xi minus, do you remember? Xi or simple X over sigma, right? But here we use X bar, mean of that sample. So that's why you get square root of n down here. Okay, okay. You can do this. You can derive from this one from here, but I'm not going to waste time. You can check it. Okay, doesn't matter because of that. Here you get x. Here you get x bar. Okay. Okay. So. 95 confidence interval. I have to go to the normal table. If you check the 95%, I mean 0.95 probability value and get the C-score value from the table, you will get what? You will get, okay. I'm not going to show you, but I'll show you what are these negative 1.96 and 1.96. Once you get the, this is from here to here, from here to here, it is 0.95. Okay. From here to here, I mean, here to here, it is 0.05. Okay. Once you check these probability values from the standard normal C-score table, you can find the C-score value. So you will see that those C-score values are negative 1.96 and 1.96. Okay, that's why they have mentioned these two values. Okay, because of this 95%. Okay, clear? So if you are confused with those two values, negative 1.96 and 1.96, please check the standard C-score table. Since we are talking about 95% confidence interval, confidence level or confidence interval, okay? So it is 95, which means 0.95, right? In probabilities, we say it is 0.95, right?
Yes.
So once you check the area under the standard normal curve, 0.95, you will get 1.96. Okay.
Okay.
Once you get the zero, once you get the C-score for probability value 0.05, you will get negative 1.96. Okay, those are the two values mentioned here, because we are talking about whatever inside this. This is the basic idea behind the confidence interval. Still we haven't derived anything. Okay, just use what we already know. Okay, clear? This is the probability between these two, right? Remember that? How we find? Okay, so this is the probability between this. It is 0.95. Okay, okay. This is what we had in the last slide. Now I'm going to break what is the idea behind Z. So how we get C, which means this, right? Here. Because here Z is what? This one. Here. Not X minus mu divided by sigma. X bar minus mu. Instead of that, X bar minus mu divided by sigma over square root of N. See? Just replace that. Replace Z. Okay. Then do the cross multiplication. Just cross multiply and isolate mu. Okay. Isolate mu. That's what they have done here. Do the cross multiplication and then isolate mu. See, once you multiply everything by sigma squared over square root of N, you will get this. Clear? Then isolate mu, right? See, isolate mu. Here you have negative X bar minus mu. So once you subtract X bar from all sides, you will get this. Okay, but you need mu, not minus mu, which means not negative mu. You need positive mu, so that you have to multiply everything by -1. So that what happened? This sign change. Do you remember that? This sign change. So you will check, once you check this, you will see this is going to be positive, this is going to be positive, but this sign change, flip the other side. So that's how we get this. Okay, clear? Okay. So most of the time you can use this result. You don't need to derive everything. I think yes, in the most of the problems you can use this result. Okay. Clear? Okay. So this is our 0.95 confidence interval. For what? For mu. Oh, sorry, for mu. So you can pick mu values less than this. This means this piece X bar. Sorry, I'll write here. Less than this value or greater than this value. It is like if I write using a interval. So you can write X bar minus 1.96 times sigma over square root of N, comma, this is a minimum value, and the maximum value is going to be X bar plus 1.96 sigma over square root of N. Clear? This is the interval. Okay. Whatever inside this interval, you can pick as your mu value. Okay. Within what? 95 confidence interval or 95 confidence level. Okay. Okay. Once it goes like 99%, then these values change. Okay. I'll give you a hint. These values change. Only the change is here. This value. So it's easy. Okay. Only change is here. This value and this value. Because once you change this, it affects to these two values. Clear? So if you remember this one, you can simply adjust the value and use this. Okay. Okay. So this is a random interval. Width is not random. Okay. Only center. Center is random. Why center is random? Center means X bar. You know, center measurements are X bar, right? X bar is okay. X bar is random. Why? 1 over, sorry, xi over n. So once we change n, xi, x bar change. Okay, clear? That's why center is random, but width is not random. This gap between these two is not random. Why? Once this change, it affects to this as well. So that width, it remains same. Okay, because this change as well as this change. So width same. Okay, how we interpret this? Okay, how we write this? Why? What is this? This one. Probability that is that this random interval includes the true value of mu is 95%. There is another. There are a few more ways to write this, interpret this, but the idea behind this, what they have mentioned under interpretation. Okay.